Hi everyone, in this session we'll continue our courses in Grasshopper. Okay, in the previous session we talked about some basic information in Grasshopper, and today we want to continue our components and our learning about the Grasshopper components. Okay, we'll first start from creating some curves and find the area of the curves. So first of all, in Rhino I type circle, and for example create a circle in Rhino, and I want to create a polygon here, so I type a polygon and create a polygon in here, and again I want a curve, just open curves. We have two closed curves and one open curves, and so I want to import them to the Grasshopper. So I type the curve in Grasshopper, as you know, and Ctrl C and Ctrl V to bring them to the Grasshopper. So I set one curve, and this is the second one, and this is the last one. So as I told you, I want to find the centroid of the curves. So the component that can find for us the centroid of the curves are the area. So as you can see, the area component have one input, this is the geometry. So we connect the curve to the geometry. As you can see, the middle point, or centroid of the curves here. As you can see, the area components has two outputs. The first one is the area, the area of the circles that we can find them with panels. If you connect the area to the panel, you can see the area of the components. So for this exercise, we don't need the area, just we know the centroid of this one. The type of the centroid is a point, and I want to connect the point with line in this exercise, so I just need the centroid of the circle. So for this polygon, again, I need the centroid, so I double click on canvas and type the area and connect the curve to the geometry. As you can see, we have a centroid here. So we have two centroid, the 2 points, and we want to connect 2 points with a line. So I double click on canvas again and type the line 2 points. We need a line with 2 points, the start point and the end point. This is the start point and this is the end point. As you can see here, we have a line between these 2 points. If you change the polygon here, you can see the line is changing because of the location of the centroid. So the other thing is that I want to do this is that I want to create a point here, and again I want to create a point in the middle of the curves, then connect these 2 points with a line. So for creating this point, again I go to the Rhino, not bad, or it's better to make another geometry in Grasshopper, not in Rhino, and find the centroid of that geometry. So here I double click on canvas and type polygon here. As you can see, the polygon is creating here. So I want to change the input to bring the polygon here. The first thing that we need here is a plane. In most component of the Grasshopper, you can import point instead of the plane. So I can type a point here in Rhino and put it here. This is the point for the plane of the polygon. So I import it to the Grasshopper. So I import it and then connect to the plane. So this is the plane of our polygons. The other thing is the radius of the polygon. It means that it shows the size of the polygon. For example, 12.36. This is the size, and connect this to radius. And the segments. For example, if you put it in 3, it means that you need a triangle, or 4 or 5 or whatever you want. And the other part and the other inputs is a fillet radius. It means that it's better to show this, for example, 1.23, and then connect it to the fillet, and you can see the change in the edges. So this is the polygon that we have created in Grasshopper. So the polygon has middle point, the centroid, Or we can simply use area again. It's not necessary, but I want to show you we can connect the area to this polygon. These 2 points, the centroid and the point that I've created, are the same. So we need this one. So I wanted to I have the first point of our exercise. I need another point here on the middle of the line to connect these points together. So for a component that can create a point on the line is a point on curve. So I double click and find the point on curves. And I connect the line to the point on curves. As you can see here, this is the point at the middle of the points. This is the first location of the point of the line. This is the middle, and this is the last part. It means that these line is ranging between 0 and 1, and you can change the location of the point between 0 and 1 here. Okay, this is the, for example, the middle, near middle. And now we have a point here, we have another point here, and we want to connect these 2 points with a line. So I choose the line. This is the first point, and this is the last point. And you can see these 2 points are connecting to each other. I want to change this one. As you can see, I change the location of the point, and the location of the line is changing too. So, or maybe you can change this location of this point, and you can see the result of this. Okay, so this is a very simple exercise to find how to create a polygon in Grasshopper, how to find a point on curves, and how to find the area. The area is a very important component that we will use a lot in our course. Okay, the other thing is that I want to find the area of these curves. So I will double click on canvas and type the area and connect the curve to the geometry. As you can see, this is the red. As I've told you, the red component, it means that it is wrong, it has an error. So I go to the balloon and find this one. Curve must be closed for area calculation. It's so clear. You cannot calculate the area of the open curves. So the area just work with a closed curve like this one and this one. So we cannot use this. The other exercise I want to do this, I want to divide the curves. So I need another, for example, curve here, for example, line in Rhino. Okay, we have 2 curves in Grasshopper. The first one is this one, and the second one is this line. Okay, I want to divide these 2 curves. The component that can help us is divide curves. Okay, but you can see some component about divide surface. Of course, we don't need this. Divide length, divide distance, divide domain, and divide curves. These 3 components, divide length, divide distance, and divide curves, can help us in this exercise, but I want to show you just the divide curves. So I choose the divide curves, and I need 2 divide curves. 2 inputs is important for us in this exercise. The first one is divide. The first one is curve, that I want to connect the curve to the curves. Okay, the count here, it means that how many parts. The default is 12, is 10. I want to change it to 12. Okay, and we can change the division of the points here. But as you know, we have 20 counts. We have 20 counts, but our points are 21. For example, we have point here. I want to show you here. For example, for these curves, 1, 2, and 3. As you can see, our curves are divided in 2 parts, but we need 3 points to divide the curves in 2 parts. So the points is 1 more number than the curves. So we don't need this one. And again, for this line, I connect the curve to the curves and connect this one to this count. As you can see, we have some points here, 21 points in this curve and 21 points in this curve. So again, I need the line curve component and connect these points and this point to the line. Okay, as you can see here, this is the first point of the curve and this is the first point of this curve. So they connected the first one to the first one, the second one to the second one. If you want to change this part, we can have some solutions. Very simple solution is to flip curves. Flip curves here, you can see here. You connect the curve to this curve, the flip curve, and then curve to this curve. As you can see, we flip the curves and now it is something that we want. This is the one solution to correct this part. Okay, this is our next exercise and we can change the division parts and you can see the result here. So the other things that I want to talk about this in this session is about the number slider. It's a very important part is number slider. I want to change the setting of the number slider. So I double click on the name of the number sliders and you can see a new window here. And here there's some setting that we can change it. The first thing is the name of the number sliders. The default name is number slider. We can change it to whatever you want, for example, num. And then press OK and you can see the number of the name of the number sliders. Okay, the second part is not necessary to change it, but you can note this apart. It's a shape, for example. I put it here, shape and text, change it to the shape and press OK. As you can see, this is the result of our changing. It means that we don't have any text, just as a shape, or maybe we can change it to box and text. You can see the differences between this. I think it's not necessary to change it, but you can do this. But very important part in number slider is slider accuracy. It means that you can change the number. I mean the type of the number here. This is the first one is the floating numbers or maybe the double number. It means that the number with decimals. If I choose this part R, you can see here we have a digit. It means that the decimals of the numbers. For example, I put here in 3, it means that I have a number with 3 decimals and press OK. As we can see, we have a number with 3 decimals. So it shows the accuracy of the numbers. Or for example, I put it in 1 and OK. As you can see, the decimal of the numbers is 1. The other part is an integer numbers. Just if you put here, if you choose the integer numbers, you don't need any digit numbers. Just we have an integer number. Sorry, and you can change it, for example, to E and O. E means even numbers and O means odd numbers. For example, I put it in E and just you can see the even numbers, 34, 30, 28. And if you put it in odd numbers, just odd numbers. Okay, this is very important part of our number sliders. And here in numeric domain, you can change the minimum and maximum of the numbers. For example, I put the minimum numbers in 10 and maximum numbers in 15 and change it here. This is the maximum numbers and this is the minimum numbers. And we can change it to, for example, R with 3 digits. As you can see, the differences between minimum and maximum numbers. And here is the range. It means that the range between maximum and minimum, you can change it, for example, to 16. And as you can see, the range between these two numbers automatically changed. And here the numeric value here, for example, is I put it in a 15 and I press OK and you can see the 15 here. It's not very important part. And that's it. It's all things about the setting of number slider. Is so easy, but it's very important, the number sliders. And the last thing that I want to do here in this session, I want to tell you in this session is about how to bring the number slider into Canvas. We have two options. The first one, double click on Canvas and type number slider. I can find the number slider here and then go to the setting and change the setting that now you know about this one. The other thing is double click on canvas and type numbers. For example, 10. If you type 10 and then press enter, you can see you have created a range of numbers between 0 and 10. Or for example, a double click on canvas and type 12 between 0 and 100. Or if you can type, for example, 103 and then press enter between 0 and 1000. The other thing is that I want to define the range between these two numbers. So for example, type 10 point 2 points, and then for example 16. It means that the minimum range of the number is 10 and the maximum is 16. So I press the enters, okay. But this is an integer numbers. If you want the floating numbers, for example 10 point and 0, 10.0, and then we need 2 points and again 16. Now this is the same, but now we have a floating numbers here instead of integer numbers. Again, for example, 10 point 000, it means that 3 decimals. Again, 2 points and 16ths. But we have 3 decimals here. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Practice this exercises, and we'll continue in the next session. Have a nice time. See you in the next session.